All right, 6 quick steps. So we're gonna go over today a question I get asked all the time. We do this very informal. I've been slipping on my YouTube videos, so I'm trying to pick up more. All right. Of course, if any of this content brings you any type of information, motivation, will push you to the top, you get even the smallest thing from it, I'm gonna need you to like, subscribe, share. I go by Mr. J. Howard, Concept Thinkers. I'm excited. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna dive straight into it. It's really my top 5 steps as far as a process of how to jump straight into and streamline your first flip. All right. So the first step is going to be securing funding. All right. We've talked about this a couple times on the channel. Of course, if you've already reached and purchased my How to Make 5K Before 5 O'Clock course, I talk a little bit about it. I do have a flipping course on the way as well. We'll talk more about it. But in the meantime, I started off always talking about securing your funding. It's super important before you go into a deal. Go ahead and get that knocked out, right? Go ahead and make sure that you have a funding source, whether it's a private lender, hard money lender, whether you're using some private funds, tapping that 401k, family funds, whatever the case may be. Make sure you have some funding set up, all right? So securing funding is step number 1. We'll talk about it in the course, how to do it, where to find the money. Second thing is going to be find the deal. All right. Of course, you can be a part of your local CREA groups. That's your local real estate investment groups. There's all sort of groups on Facebook. Some people find deals on Craigslist. And then if you wholesale, you can evaluate some of the deals that you're pushing off via wholesale and keep some of those deals to be able to flip if the numbers make sense. Make sure the numbers make sense. And that definitely takes us into the third step, which is negotiating for your ROI. When you find a deal, you want to make sure that within that negotiation process, you are keeping focused your return on investment. It's kind of what we do it for. All right. So make sure you don't skip that step and don't be afraid to negotiate hard. You don't want to lose the deal, but you also don't want to waste your time. Make sure that the deal is worth the time that you're going to put into it. So negotiate for your ROI. Next thing is going to be lining up your vendors. Most times, especially in the past, when I was early on, first time flipper, all of that good stuff, I would always take a contractor with me. Nowadays, I've learned a little bit. I don't need to necessarily take a contractor with me. I have a good eye for what things need to be repaired, kind of my design style. If I'm working with a partner, we kind of, talk about some things, maybe video walkthrough and kind of go through everything together. But I understand what damage looks like, what we need to do when things are damaged. And I can kind of get a good idea of my budget myself. However, I always tap my vendors just to let them know what's coming, whether it's my, electrician, plumber, framers, whatever the case may be, just to let them know what kind of project that I'm about to get into that I'm going to need their help for. So lining your vendors is a very, very important step. In line with that step, that fourth step, obviously, is close on the property. Once you purchase the property, then it's demo day. And that's it. All right. Secure your funding. Find your deal. Negotiate for your ROI. Line up your vendors. Close on the property. All right. I absolutely hope that you're taking advantage of finding a couple real estate attorneys in your local area that you can kind of speak with ahead of time to make sure that your contracts are good. Again, letting them know what's coming, especially if it's a creative deal. We've done a ton of creative deals, and always having that attorney back in or having an attorney kind of look over everything before you get started is super key. You want to make sure that you're not locking yourself into something that you don't have a proper escape plan for. And you definitely want your sellers to feel comfortable with whatever type of deal you're presenting to them. Remember, the name of the game is numbers. All right. That is the name of the game. I've seen and made thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and I've seen people lose thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars as well. And if you want to make sure that you're flipping into 6 figures, 7 figures, etc., you got to pay attention to the numbers. All right. Your numbers will also dictate what type of deal it is, right? Is it a flip property? Is it a property that you're going to put into the burst system? All right. Where you're going to rent it out, refinance it, and take the equity out of that property and put it into another property. All right. It's a very, very, very successful strategy, but the numbers are even more need even more focus on that side of things, because now you have to factor in, the taxes annually on that property, your rate of taxes that you're charged based on your income, property management fees, just the different things like that as far as holding costs for maintaining that property over the span of, let's say, a 30-year mortgage is ideally what you're going to pull out. Or if you can pull out a 15-year mortgage, I say go for it. So take advantage of paying attention to the numbers. If you're doing new construction, the same 5-step strategy works. All right. So make sure that you just pay really close attention to the numbers with new construction. New construction was something for me. Once we got into it, you're into it, right? But getting into it is definitely a challenge. We've done several new construction deals now, and we feel really good about it, but the strategies are definitely a little bit different. And then if you get into custom home building, now you're talking about a total different model. So again, secure that funding. Make sure that you have some funding strategies already at the forefront of your plan. Find your deals. Go out here and look in your local investor groups. Look on Facebook, Craigslist. Get on some of these wholesalers buyers lists. All right, let them know that you're a cash buyer and you want to do some deals. They will definitely keep you updated. Guys, I get probably 30 deals a day, all right, in my inbox, just across various platforms. So I love it. I love taking a look at some of the different deals and seeing what works. All right. Don't jump on every deal. Every deal is not going to be your deal. All right. I'm real big on that gut feeling strategy, right? After I play with the numbers, still going with my gut on it. But the numbers always win. All right. So take advantage of that. I'm not afraid to take a little risk here or there, but that takes time to build up the tolerance for what type of risk you're absolutely willing to take. Lining up your vendors. Don't forget it. All right. Communicate with your vendors. Don't have them showing up to something they think is going to be a super quick out of the park job. And then they get there and let's say all of your plumbing needs to be ripped out and you didn't give them a heads up. Try to focus on like your going local rates for different trades. All right. So you got a good idea when you're putting together that budget. And then demo day. All right. Demo day it is one of those things that I really put a lot of focus into. I'm one of those people, I like my kids to swing the first hammer, all right, whether it's a rehab or whatever the case may be, to try to make sure that that is something that we celebrate. All right, I say do something creative. On demo day and closing day, those are two extremely exciting days for me, for the staff, for everybody. All right, so take advantage of that, make it ceremonial, something that you can remember and keep up with. All right. Again, if this brings you any type of value, I want to know. Like, subscribe, share. I go by Mr. J. Howard. Thanks for tuning in. Take care.